Hey everyone, what is going on? So I have more battles I did on stream, and yeah, I mean I did well with this team. I went 8-2. This is like, well, I guess this is the second time that I played in the Summer Cup this season. I did do one other set with a different team. But no, I mean this team did well for me. As I said, I think I said it. I went 8-2, so pretty solid. I probably could have won the games I lost as well. I believe I made mistakes, and that's okay. You learn, right? But it's gonna be double electric with Vigoroth in the lead, and yeah, I mean just worked really well for me. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into these battles and see what we got going on for us. So the electric types you don't really want on the Mudboys. You do have the energy ball from the Electro, so that's not that bad, but I can't really switch out. My opponent does catch on the Patron, and okay, I mean this is resisted, but at least I can get some damage with counters onto this Vigoroth. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stay in here, and yeah, I mean let them KO me. Get the damage down to right, the count the damage that I got, and then I could bring in my Galvantula. Unfortunately could have thrown before they got off an attack. I do resist power, but that's fine. Now, because of that, I can just farm up extra energy. Farm up enough for 2 and go for the lunge. So it ended up working out there. Lunge will be enough to KO, and I do not anticipate the shield. And out comes Talonflame. I'm going to go ahead and throw the bait right now, because if they don't shield a discharge, it's not going to be appreciated from that Talonflame, right? And they do shield, you love to see it. I'm going to go ahead and throw the discharge now into the Talonflame. And this is going to be enough to KO, of course. And then out comes that Mudboy, and I still have a shield, plus I'm not going to get KO'd from any one attack, because I take neutral damage from the Mud Bombs, right? So Stone Edge as well, so like I'm fine here. I could just go for the Wild Charge into the Quagsire and take this game. Good game to my opponent, and I'm going to be able to win that one. Absolutely incredible. Well played to them. Good catch on that Furthorn as well. But moving on, okay, Munchlax in the lead. This is a great matchup for Vigoroth because I double resist the licks and I'm doing super effective damage. So out comes this Toxapex, and I was slow on the switch. But that's okay because I do bring in my Galvantula, and I'm going to go ahead and go for the discharge. You could bait here, but I mean, a discharge doesn't even KO. I didn't know if they were going to shield or not. They ended up shielding, so a lunge would have been nice, but that's fine. But they actually throw the Sludge Wave. I 100% expected the Brine, so I'm just going to go ahead and go for another discharge right now, and I think I'm okay. Because I think what I could do is, they did shield, I could shield this and take switch, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and commit this shield right now. It is a Sludge Wave, and I can't farm down, so I'm going to go ahead and throw my attack. Lunge would have KO'd as well, but either way, I'll throw the discharge, and that will KO. So I do take switch there, which is really what I really wanted. So out comes Diggersby, and I don't make it to a lunge, which is not great for me, but I can bring in my Hisuian Electrode, which does have the super effective Energy Ball. I am weak to Fire Punch, so keep that in mind. But that is okay, because I can take a Fire Punch, but they actually go for Earthquake, which does do a lot of damage. But I'm going to be able to get off this Energy Ball with my Hisuian Electrode. That's going to be doing so much damage. I'm waiting for them to basically throw energy to KO me so I can bring in the Vigoroth. So Fire Punch will be enough to KO me. And I decided to throw the Body Slam. Could have farmed down. I would have had to take a Fire Punch if I did. May have been worth it, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw the Body Slam. And out comes Munchlax, and it actually doesn't have Lick. It has Tackle. I was expecting Lick. So this is worse for me, obviously. If they get to 2 Body Slams, that will be enough to KO. But I'm going to be able to get to 2 Body Slams and take the win anyway. So I do go for 1 Body Slam right now, and the next Body Slam will be enough to KO. So we're going to have the Summer Cup continue for another week, but it's going to be in the Ultra League. It's not going to be in the Great League. These battles, of course, are in the Great League. So it's going to be very interesting to play that meta. Moving on, Vigoroth into Shiftry. Absolutely love to see it. The Dream Lead, right? You're doing super effective counter damage, and Shiftry Israel is frail. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the counter. So I do throw the counter into this Shiftry, and my opponent is going to go ahead and shield. Beautiful, and then they switch out into Toxapex. So another Toxapex fast on the switch this time. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw the discharge. I don't think it's worth the bait. So I do throw it, and my opponent does not shield. As you can see, it doesn't KO at anything. So, but that's good for me. I do go ahead and shield this one. This one I knew was a Brine. But that's fine. And now I'm like, okay, I think I could farm down because they took that discharge, and I am able to do so. So very nice. So if the Shiftry comes in, I want to get off the lunge to KO it or get a shield, and I am going to be able to get off the lunge, which will be enough to KO, but they do shield it up. Yep. I'll be honest, I wasn't sure who won CMP. The chat told me it's definitely Galvantula. I just didn't know, because I knew Shiftry also had a high attack as well. But I bring in my Vigoroth. Unfortunately, I threw the count on CMP. I could have thrown it a turn before. So I'm going to go ahead because of that and shield this Leaf Blade and get off my Body Slam. I wouldn't have had to shield that Leaf Blade if I threw a turn before, but it's okay. In comes this Seadra, and I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Electrode. Now, Icy Wind is super effective, but I'm not anticipating a KO or anything. But they throw Drill which is very interesting. So I just decided to go for Energy Ball. Wild Charge would have gotten the job done, so I don't know why I went for Energy Ball, but whatever, Energy Ball gets the job done as well. Good game. I don't know why they didn't throw Icy Wind, though. Unless they don't have it, but I feel like you have to have it. Anyway, good game. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. Galvantula from my opponent. Okay, not really too good, but the good thing is I do outpace to the Body Slam, so at least I could probably get a shield from this Galvantula, right? So I'm going to go ahead and throw the Body Slam right now. My opponent will, in fact, shield, and they will, in fact, throw an attack right now, and I know it's going to be a lunge. So I do let it go, and there's a lunge. It will debuff me. And the switch into Electrode. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and charge up a lot of energy and then switch out. I don't want to throw Body Slams. I'm debuffed. Now, I do resist these attacks, but it's still going to do a lot, right? And I do get off my lunge. Absolutely incredible. Will I get the second shield from the opponent? Because this will be enough to KO, and I do get the second shield. My opponent wants to throw this attack. I think I actually just let it go. Yeah, I let it go and keep both my shields. So I do have a 2-shield advantage, which is good. So I can go ahead and throw the Body Slam right now. Expecting this to KO because my opponent, what is it? Double debuffed. And it is enough to KO. Very nice indeed. And it's Vigoroth, so they're actually running the same team, but it's ABA Electric compared to my ABB style team. So very cool nonetheless, and now out comes Electrode. Electrode will be able to get off a lunge. I'm going to go ahead and invest the shield right now. Lunge, of course, is super effective, and I'm going to go ahead and charge up. I know 2 wild charges will be enough to KO the Galvantula. I do throw 1 right now. This will KO. No, excuse me. 2 will KO. That will KO. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this one. I don't want to be hit with a lunge. But after this, I could maybe farm up to enough of the back-to-back. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. However, I am debuffed. So 1 wild charge is not going to be enough to KO. So I go for the wild charge. And my switch type is not up. So I had to go for another wild charge. So I do just that, but I'm really debuffed. So I want to reset my debuff. So that's exactly what I do. I bring in my Vigoroth, and I reset my debuff. Because I reset the debuff, I will be able to live this Body Slam right now. And I will be able to get to a wild charge and take this game. Very close game. Well played to my opponent. But as you see, you know, they almost had that one. If I didn't reset that debuff, I would have lost. Obviously, a Body Slam would have KO'd my Hisuian Electrode. Good game. Moving on, Vigoroth into Diggersby. Okay, looking decent. I do a super effective counter damage, so that's really good for me. But, you know, Diggersby is really thick, so I'm just going to go ahead and charge up and throw the Body Slam, see what my opponent wants to do. I am not anticipating a shield, but my opponent actually does shield, and they throw an attack. Now, I think I maybe should have shielded this. I did think it was going to be the Earthquake, but I don't shield it. So that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Body Slam right now. My opponent actually going to double up on shield, and they're going to be able to quick attack me down. So yeah, definitely should have shielded that. I decided to bring in the Galvantula so I can get off a lunge, which will be enough to KO. Fire Punch, I am expecting it is Fire Punch. Still going to let it go. And I do get off the lunge right now, which will be enough to KO this Diggersby right now, as it does. Okay, Togedemaru. So all my moves are resisted, but I knew this was a Fell Stinger. So I'm going to let it go. I'm still not shielded. I remember this game quite well. I'm going to go ahead and go for the lunge. I get too stingy with my shields, let me tell you. So I'm going to bring in my Electro. I'm like, well, they do have a Pokemon in the back. I think I call the Fell Stinger here as well, and it is going to be, in fact, a Fell Stinger. It is super effective, but it's a weak move. Unfortunately, I throw in CMP. This is another Fell Stinger. Now, I should have shielded this one, because I don't know what's in the back, but I still don't shield it, and I go for the Wild Charge. Unfortunately, it was a CMP. If I threw a turn before, they wouldn't have gotten off that Fell Stinger. Out comes this Toxapex. I throw a Wild Charge, but I know it's not going to be enough to KO, which is really, really unfortunate for me. So they'll be able to farm down, and I'm going to lose with 2 shields. So definitely got really stingy with my shields. I think I could have pulled that one out multiple different ways, but that's okay. Good game, well played to my opponent. Let's move on to the next one. We see a Universe Stunfisk in the lead from my opponent. Pretty good Pokemon. Mudbomb was buffed, which means that was buffed as well. So I'm going to go ahead and charge up and then go into my Galvantula. I'm going to let this attack go through. It's going to be a Sky Attack. That's fine. In theory, could bait, but if they call it, I'm not going to bait. I'm just going to go straight for it. My opponent does shield, but I didn't want to do that. Unfortunately, I don't make it to another move, which is really, really unfortunate for me. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Vigoroth. I think I shield this, maybe charge up some energy, go for the Body Slam. Yeah, charge up some energy, going for the Body Slam right now, keeping track of my opponent's energy. This will be enough to KO as it does. So I did lose Switch, but I do have a lot of energy and Vigoroth with energy is pretty strong. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and throw the Body Slam. You could argue that I should have thrown the Bulldoze because Bulldoze is super effective. I felt like it was a little bit safer to throw the Body Slam, but I don't know. I wasn't sure that they were going to shield, and they did not shield, of course. But either way, that's okay. So I think I let this go. Do I let this go or do I shield? I shield, okay. So I shield. I know I throw the Bulldoze now, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And this Bulldoze is going to be enough to KO this Stunfisk again. At this point, I don't think they're going to shield it, and they bring in Walrein. So I'm going to go for the Body Slam, and this Body Slam is actually going to be enough to get the shield, which is really good for me because I have the Electrode in the back. So that was it. Not only did I get the shield, but that was a CMP tie as well. So I'm going to take the energy, and I am a Grass type in addition to the Electric typing with Electrode, but I'm going to win CMP. Even if I didn't, I should survive an Icicle Spear, I think, but I do get off this Wild Charge and KO. So good game, well played to my opponent, and I'm going to be able to win that one. Absolutely amazing. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. Vigoroth into Dewgong. Okay, great matchup. I remember this battle. The switch into Dubwool right now. I'm going to go ahead and catch the Body Slam, which is kind of like an okay catch, but I feel I should have switched out immediately. So again, mistakes, and I should have thrown right away as well. But the thing is, we got to the move. Like I thought they were gonna throw the Body Slam ASAP, and it's like they waited an extra double kick. So that's really bad for me. I could throw the lunge now, and I shield because I do want to win Switch. Spoiler warning: I'm not going to be able to win Switch. But I do know that my Electrode at least has play against the Dewgong because of the moves, even though I am a Grass type and I am weak to it. Yeah, my opponent is not going to allow me to win Switch, but out comes Diggersby. Okay, so another mistake. I should have thrown the lunge there to debuff them before switching out. So I should have thrown the lunge. Now I'm going to be hit with an Earthquake, which will do a lot of damage to me. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this attack right now. I also could have brought in the Hisuian Electrode against this Diggersby because Electrode with that energy ball is going to do a lot, and I am weak to Fire Punch, but I could take a Fire Punch, so I definitely misplays on my end in this game. And as I said at the beginning of the video, could have played better in some of these battles, but again, it's first time running the team, so it is what it is. I'm going to bring in my Galvantula and go for the lunge right now. This lunge will KO, and I'm going to switch out. Yeah, I know. I knew they were going to try and catch. I don't let them catch. I was like, well, maybe I can't farm down. If the double is in farm down range, I get the 2 Wild Charges. But they get off the Body Slam. They have 2 Body Slams. I kind of at that point needed to farm down, and I knew there was no way I was going to be able to do so. So good game. Well played to my opponent. I do farm down there, but the thing is, a discharge is not going to be enough to KO, but they get to a move anyway. So well played. Could have played this better, but it's all good. It's all good. That's how we learn. So good game. Let's move on to the next one. Vigoroth into Victreebel. Okay, Victreebel. So I'm going to go ahead and switch into my Galvantula. My opponent brings in Pidgeot. Okay, so unfortunately a gust comes through. I'm going to go ahead and go for this discharge. My opponent does shield. You could bait there. Obviously it would have been good in that situation for me, but obviously I didn't know. If they didn't shield, they didn't shield. Most of the time they're probably going to shield though. But either way, I do get off another discharge, getting the final shield from the opponent, and so I'm going to get it low. I would love to farm down. I'm thinking which one I want to try and farm down with. I'm going to go with the Vigoroth, and my opponent does get to an attack, but this is only a Feather Dance, so I know it's not a Brave Bird. They need one more for Brave Bird, so I'm going to go ahead and let that go. And then switch out into my Electrode to get ahead on energy with my Hisuian Electrode. But out comes Noctowl. The Noctowl is coming in. They try to catch on the Victreebel. So the thing about Shadow Victreebel is it's really glassy. So 2 Wild Charges will be enough to KO. So what I'm going to do is charge up almost enough for back-to-back. Going to go ahead and throw this right now. And we have a follow from Marcus. Thank you so much for the follow. I'm not streaming right now, but I am recording this on OBS, so we can still get the follows. Thank you so much for that follow, my friend. Shout out to you on Twitch. If you want to follow my Twitch, the link will be in the description down below. But I'm going to be able to win that. Good game. Moving on, Vigoroth into Vigoroth. So mirror match going on. Okay. Okay, I mean, it's a mirror match. It's not bad, right? I think I shield this. Yeah, I do shield this one. So neutral matchup, of course. We'll have to see what's in the back for my opponent. I'm going to go ahead and throw this Body Slam right now into the Vigoroth. My opponent is going to go ahead and commit that shield. I know they went CMP, but I'm going to go ahead and force them to go down 2 shield. Well, we'll see, because I thought I would barely survive it, so if they want to go down 2 shields, they can. Now, they're going to be able to barely survive it. They don't shield. And then I'm going to switch into Garvantula and snipe with Volt Switch, since I have 2 electric types. Unfortunately, the Stunfisk comes in. I would have loved to have my Electrode on that Stunfisk, but that's fine. I go for the Lunge, though. Lunge will be enough to debuff, obviously, which is amazing. Lunge guarantees the debuff. I love the move. So Mud Bomb coming out. And I want to get to another one before they get to another Mud Bomb, and I'm successfully able to do so, so that is amazing. So this is going to connect, and the Mud Bomb, I do survive this Mud Bomb. They are double debuffed, which is really good for me. So Mud Bomb coming out, and I want to make it, but no, they could farm down, which I don't like at all. I tried to catch it, I wasn't able to, but it's fine. I bring in my Electrode again. My opponent is going to go ahead and throw this attack right now. I think there's a Lantern in the back, if I'm not mistaken. I heavily resist all those moves. There is a Lantern. Plus, they're double debuffs, so no need to shield the Stunfisk. Yeah, Discharge is heavily resisted. It's double resisted. You don't want to go for that move for sure. I go for my Energy Ball so I don't debuff myself. I am expecting a Surf, but I think that's the Thunderbolt. No, the Thunder, excuse me, Thunder. But the thing is, I double resist electric moves, so you do want to throw, like, I would say you do want to throw that Surf. I don't want to debuff myself, so I am throwing the Energy Ball. And I'm going to go ahead and shield this one. I can still take a Mud Bomb, keep that in mind. So what I'm going to do is charge up to close to 2 Energy Balls, almost at 2 Energy Balls, and I'm going to go ahead and throw them. So out comes the Mud Bomb, no problem. I do take that. I can't take another one. And feeling pretty good. Would the Wild Charge have KO'd? Maybe. Someone in chat said Wild Charge would do like 19%, but I think Wild Charge would have been enough. But I just went for the Energy Balls. I knew they wouldn't get to another attack. I was keeping track of energy, so good game. Moving on. Okay, Ampharos in the lead. Do have to watch out for that Focus Blast, but other than that, not too bad. And my opponent is going to throw, so I know this is not a Focus Blast. It takes 5 Volt Switch attacks to get to a Focus Blast, so I'm not concerned. I know it's Thunder Punch, or possibly Brutal Swing, but I expected Thunder Punch. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Garvantula, and all moves are going to be super effective, excuse me, towards that Slowbro, which is really good. And plus I debuff them, which is really good. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this one. And it's going to be Psychic, so that is a good shield by me. And I do want to get to another one. Actually, I go for the Farm Down, actually. And I do get the Farm Down. Beautiful. Even better. So now I can throw the Lunge or the Discharge. And, oh, look at that. Oh, man. They actually farm me down before I'm able to get off the move. That's my bad. That is really bad. I really needed that, right? So I'm going to bring in my Electrode. I do go ahead and let it go. And it is the Dragon Claw. I knew it was the Dragon Claw. So out comes Ampharos. So my opponent did not charge up for a blast burn. I don't think, at least the way I was counting, they did. Unless if I'm wrong, but I don't think they did. That's why I didn't shield it. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for this Bulldoze, which will be enough to KO. Very nice. Now in comes Charizard, and now basically I need to get to the Wild Charge, and I got to the Wild Charge. So this is gonna be enough to KO. So I'm gonna be able to win that game. Cute Charizard with the party hat, but still going to be able to knock it out and take it, right? So good game, well played to all my opponents, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.